Hey, Spring Arbor students. Hope you're having a good week. I decided what I was going to do is try to do a short intro every week of the material you're going to be looking at and hopefully give you a little bit of guidance. Obviously for week one, this is an intro to the rest of the class, but there's a lot of stuff to get on and read, so don't wait to read the material. In terms of learning objectives, oh, by the way, I'm here at home in my home office, if you will, away from other parts of life right now. Just working on this class. So in terms of learning objectives, you'll be looking at the history of organizational development and kind of the whole evolution of what the roots were and how it got to where it is today. You're going to be looking at some of the basic tools of design when you're looking at organizations and the diagnosis of organizations. Consider, if you will, as you go through this, how your relationship with Jesus Christ, if you have a relationship with Christ, how that affects your diagnosis of people in an organization as you work with organizations. There's a big chunk of reading. There's 5 different chapters. Let me give you a little bit of advice on how to go through these chapters. This is true of any research material, not just for this class. So first of all, take each chapter, skim each chapter. A few light notes in the margins if you want to do that, just to get an understanding of the basic layout. Look at the reference section. Understand the sources that the author is using to build his case, his or her case, and their thinking, who's influencing their thinking. Third, read the material for understanding. Don't hit every word, every paragraph, that sort of thing, but get a general sense of the text, kind of with some questions building up in your mind, and starting to read with an understanding. That's not a real thorough reading. It's just a more deeper reading than just skimming it, though. Then come back and reread it a little more deeply, looking for to fill in the gaps in your thinking and your understanding. Write down questions during that second reading and go back and explore them now and dig a little bit deeper. In terms of the Blackboard dialogue, a little bit of guidance on that. We're going to be looking at defining organizational development. You need to identify a host organization. Hopefully you've already been doing that. It's very helpful if you can have that host organization defined now so you can use it in some of your future classes later on. Let's see, in terms of length of those dialogues, I'm not sure if those Blackboard dialogues. I haven't seen much requirement for length, but let me just give you this advice. Other people want to read this and they're going to have to respond to it. Be concise, be clear, don't dribble on and make it painful to read, okay? Make sure, I'm pressed by the university to make sure that we all follow APA style guidelines. So make sure you're doing that, okay? If you state a fact, state the reference. Do the citation correctly. So I would expect to see some sort of reference section in your dialogue. The lab work, the essay question, let me just hit that real quick. Some of these things are comparing and contrasting organizational diagnostic models in the book compared to those outside the book. When you think about open systems for a moment, that's on page 92 in chapter 5. They talk about open systems. I want you to think about closed systems as well. What does that mean? Just to kind of help round out your thinking. And because at different levels in an organization, some parts of the organization are open to the environment and some are closed. And what would happen if the entire organization was closed to the environment? Think deeply about this question because it becomes these questions in these labs, they become the building blocks for applying what you know to the organization that you're working with, your host organization. And it's a chance for you to scaffold the information and the knowledge that you're learning to your actual organization that you're working in. So kind of think about connecting your experiences to the text as you do this lab work. In the project work, somewhat similarly to that scaffolding, question number 1 says select an organizational diagnostic model and apply it to your host organization. That's not pick the model and then apply it. Do them together. Understand the models that are being presented here in terms of the diagnostic models, and then go into your organization with that list in hand and look for problems that are out there. Then connect up the two. I would strongly encourage you not to pick a model and then go look for the problem. Have them both in hands. Line up the problems with the organizational problems. Line them up with the diagnostic models that are being suggested. Then pick one of those connections. Pick one model to fix one problem and go after it and talk about it. Again, try to do this in the organization that you're going to be using later on. Okay, that's it. Listen, I know there's a lot going on in this first week, but you guys can do it. Okay, I'm going to make myself available throughout the week to read emails. Tuesday evening of the first week of class, I'm going to try to be available for Skype phone conferences. Send me an email if you'd like to be a part of that. Just one-on-one, we'll talk a little bit on that Tuesday evening if you want to for just a few minutes. So, okay, have a great week. Thanks.